I would say the pros for, and I guess I'm biased to our program, the pros to a recreation run league is you don't really have that personal interest. I mean, you have a personal interest, of course, but you don't have children in the program, so you're not maybe making decisions based on what's best for your team or your child. You're making decisions based on the entire program, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so as being invested into it and into the league as a parent, you know, your investment is in your kids. You have kids. I've always had 2 kids in the league, and you know, being a hired individual by the city, that person might not even have a kid in the league. He might not have kids at all. You know, he just might have a degree in PE. So there's a lot more invested. You know, and it's I think it really works.
Cons, I think that the same reason that it's would maybe be slightly negative, I think there's a con for us in running our program too, is we may not have that personal interest. We are just looking at it as a league-wide thing, so.
Probably egos, the biggest thing, you know, competition with some dads that you know, want to run the show or do things a little differently. Everybody has an opinion, but for the most part, all that gets worked out. But, you know, there's really not a whole lot of negatives, I don't think, you know. I mean, I wasn't around when it was a city league, but from what I understand, there's no comparison and it's never went back, so.
Well, we definitely have a benefit because we're a Parks and Recreation organization. We have many employees to take care of our parks, and we have part-time seasonals that can come in and take care of our fields, where a parent organization, they have to rely on volunteers who may or may not show up. You know, they're not being paid, so they might be a little bit flaky, and so you have to have volunteers that are really willing to put in a lot of time. So we definitely are lucky in that aspect.
I would say we were down there every day. And you know, you're down there every day either practicing with your kids or just making sure everything's going well, or handing out baseballs, because they're always needing baseballs. You know, it's always something going on or whatever, and it's just kind of a fun place to hang out. So I do have a life, but that's part of it. We haven't really seen an unusual spike. We have a 3% increase approximately every year, and that's stayed the same. We still have that slight increase. And our league's grown in leaps and bounds. So with West Farmington all becoming populated with all the new subdivisions and stuff like growing down there, they have numerous, probably 18 to 20 pinto teams and t-ball teams.
Right. We've had to decrease our budget 5% for the last 2 years. So with our program numbers staying the same, we've had to be really careful on how we spend that money. So as far as like uniforms, we've scaled down a little bit. As far as equipment, we have to continue to buy that equipment for safety reasons. We recycle what we can and then purchase new of what we need to. But we have had to scale down on uniforms and things that may not really be needed. We might be ordering something that's just a little bit less in price. For example, our All-Star program, we in the past have always had socks and belts, hats, shirts. We eliminated socks and belts this year coming out of our budget, and the participants had to go out and buy their own socks and belts.